All right. Hi there. Welcome to Broke Up, Not Broken. If you're going through a divorce, don't worry. You're not alone. A lot of us have been there before. This is going to be your one stop shop for mastering your finances throughout the entire process. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that is not talked often in divorce. And it's usually all about the finances and who's going to get what and so on. But we're going to be talking about the emotional aspects of the divorce. And that's how we're going to kick this series off. So whether you're just starting to consider divorce or you're in the thick of it, this episode is going to equip you with the knowledge and tools that you need to manage the emotional aspects of divorce. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks along the way. I think it's going to be an amazing 15 minutes or so chatting this through. So grab a cup of coffee, buckle up, and let's get financially empowered. And let's empower you to manage your finances and your emotions through the process. But where we want to start is a quick introduction, because this is a brand new episode, brand new series we're starting, brand new podcast. This is right out of the gate. My name is Jamie Lima. I am a certified financial planner and also what is called is a certified divorce financial analyst, a CDFA, a certified divorce financial analyst. And my job in my day-to-day life is to walk people through the financial nuances of a divorce and help them come up with different strategies that they can use to be able to come out on divorce on the other side in a fair and equitable way, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is getting through if a divorce is imminent and you're in the throes of it. I know it's easy just to forget about this, but all we're trying to do is really get through this and get a fair and equitable settlement. And that's our job. The attorneys will handle the legal aspect of things. We handle the financial aspects, and bringing them together can usually get people through the divorce process in a much better way and usually save them a lot of money. So this podcast is all things divorce related. So we're going to have guest speakers on. We're going to have some of my colleagues joining us here. But for today, I want to talk to you directly as the founder of Allegiant Divorce Solutions, the company that I run, where we do this work. And I want to really empower you at the end of the day to navigate all of the financial aspects of divorce and get through on the other side in a much, much, much better way, right? And put yourself on a much firmer foundation moving forward, because that's what it's all about. So I recognize the challenges you face related to and especially the emotional aspects of divorce. I was there too. In 2017, I went through what I define as one of the world's most expensive and challenging divorces, and I'm nobody special, right? We spent gobs and gobs of money on attorneys and battling out in the courtroom unnecessarily. And it took an emotional toll on me. It affected my health. It affected my relationships. It affected the way that I do my work. And it really just wore me out. So I have a soft spot in my heart for those of you that are going through this, because I can empathize with where you're at. So let's talk a little bit about the emotional impact of divorce. What are some of the things that we go through as we're going through this exercise, right? And the first thing most people experience is sadness, right? You're experiencing the sadness that is associated with the divorce and the breakdown of a relationship that could be many, many years in the making. We work with some people that have been married for decades. I think the longest marriage that we're working on right now, we're dissolving the marriage, is 30 some odd years. So people have been together for a very long time, and there are a lot of amazing experiences, and you probably raise kids and maybe even put them through college. And now next thing you know, things are not working out and you've decided to go your separate ways. There's a level of sadness that most of us will experience at the outset. And I'm not a psychologist and I don't try to be one. I'm not a therapist. I don't try to pretend to be one, but I have experienced it myself. There's a lot of anger that's involved, right? We're angry that the other person isn't cooperating with repairing the marriage. We're angry with that the other person isn't maybe going off and getting a job to be able to contribute to the financial financials of the family. We're angry with the other person that they're not taking care of themselves, or they're taking care of the kids, or whatever. There's a lot of anger that builds up in the marriage, and then that carries over to the divorce, right? And we're angry that they don't want to pay spousal support. We're angry that they don't want to divide up the assets in a fair and equitable way. We're angry that the vision that we had for our future no longer exists, right? There's also a level of fear. I can't tell. Most of the people that we work with are the people in the relationship that have not had a lot of financial experience in the household. And by that, I mean, they're not the ones that have balanced the checkbook. They're not the ones that manage the budget. They haven't learned they don't understand what they own. Maybe they don't understand how many retirement accounts there are, or if they're investment accounts or pensions, things of that nature. They just don't understand. So there's a lot of fear there because they're afraid that they're going to miss something along the way. And they're also afraid that the future that they have is not going to be what they envisioned. And maybe they're not going to be able to have the lifestyle that they wanted to have. Maybe they're not going to be able to travel as much as they wanted to. All those things are all these emotions that we bring about, and it can arise during a divorce. There's also a level of uncertainty, and I think that's really what ties us all together. We're angry, we're scared, we're sad, we're fearful because of all the uncertainty. We don't understand how long the process is going to take. We don't understand how expensive it's going to be. We don't understand what the judge is going to tell us when we get in front of the judge, if we have to make arguments or go to a hearing in front of a judge. There's a lot of unknowns. And me personally, I'm a person who thrives in planning. And maybe that's why I do the work that I do, because I'm definitely type A. I like to know where we're going, how long it's going to take us to get there, what we're going to do when we get there, and so on. I'm a planner by trade. And I'm a certified financial planner and certified divorce financial analyst. And by melding those two types of roles together, all I do is plan. So if there's a level of uncertainty in this experience, I want you to know that it is totally normal. It's a natural feeling, and you should be feeling that way, because this is not anything we ever intended to go through, right? That being said, I want to, and I know this is a conversation about this is supposed to be a podcast about the financial aspects of the divorce. I get it, but it's important to understand the emotional, because the emotions that we experience drive a lot of the decisions that we're going to make when it comes time to file for divorce and work on negotiations and so on and so forth. So if you don't get the emotional aspect of this right, you may fail along the way on the financial side. So that's why this is so important. So you have to be able to process these emotions. I don't care how you do that. I like to meditate. I like to sit in silence and just hear myself breathe and try to calm my mind and go through that exercise daily. Sometimes it helps me in my day to day. It helps me in the work that I do. It helps me try to just calm the thoughts that are there. And that worked for me. That worked for me through the process. I talked to a lot of therapists, right? I had a couple of therapists that I work with during my own divorce, and they helped me process the psychological aspects of this and the emotions that I was having, and be able to deal with it and control that anger, sadness, and so on that I was experiencing. So one of the things that we always talk about, and I talk about this with a lot of the guests that we have, a lot of the clients that we have, you want to try to create team you as you're making your way down this path. Once you've decided that you want a divorce and it's imminent, and you're going to tell your significant other that it's time to get a divorce, you want to create team you. By that, I mean, if you think it's going to be contentious, you want to hire an attorney, somebody who can help you with the legal aspects of things. You want to hire a financial person because the attorney doesn't understand the finances like we do. So hiring somebody like myself and other CDFAs that are out there can help you with the financial aspects of things. So you have your financial and legal aspects covered, but now you need the emotional aspects. So there are divorce coaches that are out there. There are therapists that are out there that will help you through this. And by bringing us all together and working together to create on Team U, I feel like, and I've experienced and seen other people get through this in a much better way than people that don't do that. Right. So I want you to consider that. And that there are beyond those traditional resources that are available to you to create Team U, there are support groups galore that are available to you. I wish that I had that knowledge. I had this knowledge when I was going through my divorce in 2017. I had no idea that there were support groups and divorce coaches and people that can just hold your hand through this process to help you understand the dynamics of the court system, how they process paperwork, what paperwork you're going to need, what does the filing process look like. But also there are people that are out there, support groups that are out there that will help you understand how to handle the emotional aspects of the divorce. And it's incredibly important to tap into these resources. If you take nothing else away from this conversation today, it's use your resources. Use your resources. There are so many of them out there, and a lot of them are free. Some of them are going to cost you some money. I get it, but there are a lot of free resources out there that you should be tapping into. And we actually run a Facebook group. There's a Facebook group that we'll put up a link to in the show notes, so you can come join us. We don't spam anybody. We don't. You need your first name, last name, email address to gain access. It's just a free Facebook resource group called Preparing Financially for Divorce that will allow you to get free advice from someone like myself and other members of my team on a regular basis. We post, 3 to 5 times a day on different tips and tricks and articles that I'm seeing or coming across, or different case law, all the stuff that I think would be super helpful for you to know. Those resources exist. So don't hesitate to reach out. Just to shift gears a little bit to the financial impact, divorce, let's just face it, divorce is going to significantly impact your finances, right? Even for those couples that are out there that have seemingly stable finances, your life is no longer going to be the same as it was during your marriage or in before your marriage. In many households, you have one person who's the breadwinner, the single wage earner, and there's usually a stay-at-home parent or a stay-at-home spouse. When you divide up that household and you go from having that single wage earner who now has to support 2 households, if you think your life is going to look the same, you are sadly mistaken. So our job as financial planners and as a certified divorce financial analyst like myself, our job is to help you work through that, right? That's where the financial piece of this all comes together. Our job is to help you figure out, what does your newfound life look like? How much are you going to be able to spend on rent? How much a house can you afford? Are you going to still be able to put little Johnny and little Susie through college? Are you going to be able to go on the vacations that you want to go on, to be able to travel the world like you used to do in your old life? It's not about making decisions solely for the purposes of getting through the divorce, but also trying to figure out a way to put you on a path forward to help you understand what that newfound life is going to look like and how you can plan accordingly to help you achieve the goals and objectives that you have, and help you understand what that new reality is going to look like, because it's not going to be the same as it was before. Some of the things that we're going to talk about in future episodes, and I want to give you a little glimpse into what you should expect as it relates to our future conversations. We're going to talk about dividing up assets and how to divide up assets, and not only assets, but also debts that have been accumulated in the divorce. We're going to talk about child support, how that's calculated, how that factors into the equation. Spousal support is a big one. That's not just necessarily taking income and expenses and putting it into a calculator like child support is. There are a lot of nuances that are related to spousal support. So I want you to stay tuned to future episodes. We're going to talk a lot about this stuff. and how you can handle the changes in your living expenses. I just alluded to this a second ago. Again, your lifestyle is not going to be the same as it was during the marriage. So you have to be able to find ways to be strategic and manage those expenses and that change that's coming your way with your living expenses. You have to be very proactive, right? And that's what the show is going to be all about. It's all about how to put you in a position where you can be proactive to secure a financially stable future, right? And put yourself on a nice, solid foundation moving forward. That way, day one of your newfound single life, when the dust is settled on the divorce and you're ready to move forward, whether it's on the courthouse steps. I mean, in my own divorce, I was doing cartwheels on the way out of that, on the way out of that place. But not everybody feels that way. But whenever you're ready to start thinking about what future you looks like, this show is going to help. We're going to give you some tips and tricks and tools that you can use to be proactive in securing a financially stable future. We're going to have divorce experts on the show a lot. So therapists, divorce attorneys, other CDFAs and financial planners like myself, divorce coaches, you name it. We're going to interview a bunch of them coming up. So stay tuned. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to join me in this endeavor, in this adventure. I'm going to do my best to provide you with the tools and resources you need. So I would love it if you'd subscribe, and follow along and join us on this journey. So all in all, just to wrap this first episode up in a bow, it's all about understanding the emotional aspects of the divorce first, before you even start thinking about the financial, right? You have to understand that you're going to go through this roller coaster of emotions. And you're going to go through the anger and the fear and the uncertainty. You're going to feel all those, and you're going to feel them feel it. It's okay. You just sit in it, sit with it for as long as you need to, because if you can just embrace it and recognize that it's part of the process, it will clear up the thoughts that you have about the sadness you're experiencing. It'll just clear up all those thoughts that are going to be clouding your ability to make practical and pragmatic decisions in the divorce. One thing I tell people all the time is that I want you to think of yourself as the CEO of your newfound life, right? It's like you are now the CEO of John Incorporated. You're now the CEO of Sarah Incorporated. You're now the CEO of Timothy Incorporated. Whatever your name is, you're now the CEO of you as a person, right? By thinking that way, think about how CEOs make big decisions of big corporations. If they let the emotions get involved with some of the decisions that they have to make, they may never make any decisions, or all the decisions that they're going to make may be detrimental to the company that they're running. They have to push that aside and think through things with no emotion involved. It's very, very challenging. I'm a business owner myself. I have employees. It's very, very challenging. I get it. But if you can just get yourself to that point, you're going to be in a much better spot. So that's what this is all about. And we're going to sprinkle in some more of this emotional stuff along the way. So this is going to come up a bunch. But I want to paint the picture for you of some of the things that you need to be thinking about right now as you begin to tackle this very, very challenging endeavor ahead of you. I want you to, if nothing else, take that away from our conversation today, that if you can handle the emotions, you're going to be in a much better position financially when the dust settles. So I mentioned this earlier. Subscribe to this podcast. I would love it if you would. I'm appreciative of you listening to me right now. I've been rambling on about the emotional stuff for like 15 minutes now. I'm not used to doing that, so I appreciate you bearing with me. We're going to get better as we go. We're going to have these shows going to be amazing. I have a feeling. But subscribe for future podcasts. Join us in our Facebook group, Preparing Financially for Divorce. It's hopefully going to be a great free resource for all of you out there. You can visit our website at allegiantds.com, allegiantds.com. The links are going to be in the show notes, so you don't have to memorize that. But if you need help, do not hesitate to reach out. We're available. You have access to our calendar through our website. You can book a complimentary 30-minute conversation where we'll talk about all the stuff, right? We'll put you in a position where you can understand what some of the next best steps are for you. And if we're not able to help, maybe we could be a resource to you to help you find someone who can help you. We have a large network of divorce coaches and attorneys and therapists and so on. I'm happy to help. So visit the website, Allegiant Divorce Solutions, allegiantds.com. And I look forward to, and there's blog posts that are on there. There's a bunch of free resources on the website. Go check it out. I think it's going to be super helpful. And if you need some help and you want to chat things through, don't hesitate to reach out. I appreciate you joining me here today. I look forward to speaking with you again real soon. And you have a great rest of your day, and we'll chat to you soon.